Hey everybody, in this video here, I'm going to give you an introduction into the Mythical Marketplace. And if you play NFL Rivals, you're definitely going to want to use the marketplace to be able to buy and sell player cards to build a better lineup. I'm a free-to-play player, and there's no way that I would have the team I have today without the marketplace. I'm going to switch over to my phone here. I'm just going to show you my team real quick. I'm at 2,385 power right now. One thing to keep in mind though, today is Halloween, so you can see the Monster Smash players are boosted, which probably inflates my overall just a little bit, but typically I'd have some of my epic players in there. But like I said, today the Monster Smash players are boosted, so you see them in my lineup. But just over 1,000 in terms of offense, just over 1,000 in terms of defense. Same thing, few epic players sprinkled in, but mostly rare players overall, and then there's special teams as well. But like I said, 2,385 power as a free-to-play player. I've been playing now for almost a month, maybe 3.5 weeks. There's no way I would have this team if it weren't for the Mythical Marketplace. I started with my first limited edition card in the game. I used that for a while. I earned a second limited edition card, and I listed that here on the marketplace, and I used those couple of Mythos tokens to purchase some blueprints, attached those to players, which I sold on the marketplace, and basically traded and flipped my way up into now I have close to 60 limited edition players, well, maybe about 5 blueprints sprinkled in there as well. But without the marketplace, I would never have been able to build a team like that. So in this video, like I said, I'll give you guys a good introduction into the marketplace and some of the different things that you'll see here. So first things first, mythical.market is where you go to actually reach this website. Once you do, a few things you'll see across the top here. Mythical Games actually supports 2 other games on the marketplace as well, Nitro Nation World Tour and Blankos Block Party. Obviously for this video and most of the content you see here, we're just talking specifically about NFL Rivals. The other main menu item, so to speak, the marketplace, this is where you'll actually see all the cards available to buy. Inventory is what you have in your inventory. Basically, those are your cards. Offers are offers you can make for certain cards. You'd have to set us or create a specific offer. That would be an entirely separate video where we can talk more about that. Game site just links you to NFL Rivals game site to download. That's all that is. The Get Help link brings you to an FAQ where you can search if you are having issues. You can search for certain answers there. You can actually find some help and support right here. On the drop down on your name or your 2 initials, it will bring up a contact support link, and that will open up this chat support window that you see here as well. The activity link, just this basically opens up all the recent activity. It's a transaction history of what has happened on your account, all the different buying and selling you've done and listing that you've done on the marketplace. I'll talk more about activity and transactions here in a minute. Next thing, you'll see the wallet icon with this Mythos token icon as well, and then it will tell you how many Mythos tokens you have in your wallet and also the cash equivalent of those tokens. You can see right now I have 7.65 tokens, which is the equivalent of about $2.26. When you click the drop down, you'll see the Mythos rate, which this does change. I've seen it fluctuate over the last 3 weeks between maybe 29 cents and 33 cents is the value of each Mythos token. So whenever I talk about players here on the marketplace, I always refer to them in regards to Mythos tokens, not necessarily dollars. Now that dollar amount fluctuates based on the amount of a Mythos token. So one way to just kind of keep a accurate baseline is just to refer to players in regards to the tokens, not necessarily the cash equivalent of those tokens. Okay, so on the left side, you'll see the filter here. This is basically all the different categories you can filter in order to really find what you want. You can hide that filter if you click these little 3 filter lines as well. I typically always leave that open. It's just not that much of a hindrance, and I use it a lot. The other thing is the sort by drop down that you see here. This is really important. When you first land on the marketplace, it will sort by relevance. There's no search here, so I'm not sure what relevance that's pertaining to, but ultimately you can use this to sort by date. You can have the newest listed cards here, the oldest listed cards. You can also sort by price to see the lowest listed cards or the highest listed cards, any specific way that you'd like to see these results listed. Real quick before I do that, I think sometimes people may be surprised at the value that their limited edition cards have. That is one thing to keep in mind. Obviously, you can't trade base players here on the marketplace. This is just for the limited edition players that you get in game. You can purchase blueprints like you see here. This is a blueprint for Zaire Franklin, which if you attach the blueprint to his base player card, he then becomes a limited edition version, which you can buy and sell here on the marketplace. But look at this legendary Roquan Smith, for example. This is being sold for 176 Mythos tokens, which is almost $52. So some of these cards, like I said, you may be surprised if you open a good one at the value that it may have here on the marketplace. But let's talk a little bit about these filters here. Price range, obviously you can select here what price range you want to see in regards to the results. Categories, if you only want to look at players, you can select that there. If you want to look at only blueprints, you can do that. Or if you want to look at squad helmets, right? These are something you won't really see in game much at all, but the squad helmets would allow you to own a squad and be able to have people sign up under your squad. And squad owners do earn quite a bit of gold if their squads rank high enough in the results. Rarity. So if we only want to see blueprints or players of specific rarity, we can do that as well. So, check this out here. Common, actually the lowest ranked cards, so to speak, are the commons. Those are the 1-star cards. But there are not a lot of common cards here on the marketplace. Currently only 245. I am going to select players specifically, and so I'll reference only players here with what we see. But only 202 common cards, 3,600 rare cards, which are the next lowest rarity. Those are the 2-star blue cards. Then you get into epic, which are the 3-star red cards. There's 2,405 of those cards here listed on the marketplace. The legendaries are the 4 gold stars. There's 1,200 of them here on the marketplace. And then mythical, which is the highest rarity or the most rare cards. Those are the 5 gold stars. There's only 46 mythical cards listed here on the marketplace. So that's what the rarity will do for you. Next thing is going to be NFL teams. So if you want to look specifically at a certain team while you're here, you can do that as well. It's super helpful for game time events if you're looking for specific players to build out your game time event lineups. That could be helpful. Next drop down is the program. So these are the different programs that NFL Rivals have released in the game. Most recent one right now, which is about to come to an end, is the Halloween 2023 promo, and you can see there's over 2,200 cards currently listed from that specific program. Prior to that was Kickoff, then Rivals Rewind. You can go all the way back down here. Founders Edition was the very first one. You can see there's only 74 cards listed in Founders Edition. Compare that now with the Halloween promo, which there's over 2,000. You can see the more recent programs, certainly going to be a lot more cards. NFL Rivals has grown so much that the more recent programs and promos are just going to have way more cards. So these older cards here are pretty rare and will probably be pretty valuable over time. Position, if you want to see specific positions here, if you only want to look at quarterbacks, for example, you can do that. You can select specific positions. If you want to look at, let's go up to rarity and say, hey, I just want to see my rare quarterbacks. You can go ahead and select multiple options there with your filter. Specific colleges, I'm not really sure why you'd want to see that. If you just needed further sorting options to be able to really find what you're looking for, that might be helpful. Level, which you can see here, the level of the actual card. So all cards start at a level 1, and then in-game you can upgrade them using player points and also coins to higher levels to power them up. You can see, for instance, a level 1 Andy Dalton is a 95 power, whereas this level 4 Andy Dalton is a 102 power. So if I were going to buy an Andy Dalton today, I would certainly buy this 102 power for less coins, right, than you would buy the level 1. This would be a little bit better of a deal because I wouldn't have to spend the position points, and they're called R coins in the game. They're just credits that you earn in order to upgrade Andy Dalton. So if you wanted to search specifically by level, you could do that, or power rating. Token ID, I'm really not sure what that would be. I think that might be something that is maybe a unique identifier for each token. Not really sure what that means. And variant, you can see between the regular and, so what we'll do, I'll deselect quarterback. I'll go to rarity, pick mythical, actually maybe legendary. Yeah, there you go. So that will give you the option to see regular or luminous results. So when you click luminous, for example, these are really cool. So they're just, they would be basically like foil or, shiny versions of these cards, the luminous cards, which you'll see there. Looks cool with the moving graphic. But in any event, those are the different filter options that you can use when you're browsing the marketplace. Okay, the next thing we'll talk about is your inventory. So when you come over to your inventory, I'm not going to go through all of these filter options again, but you basically have all the same filter options when you're viewing your inventory that you have when you're viewing the marketplace. The only thing different here is you could just show the cards that you have listed for sale on the marketplace. So you can have cards in your inventory. You don't have to necessarily have them for sale in the marketplace. Some people aren't interested in selling their cards and maybe they just want to keep them. That's fine. But in any event, you can list them for a higher amount than all the other cards, and hopefully it won't sell. But if it does, hey, great, you can go buy a cheaper one, right? So I would always have my cards listed, even if they're listed for an astronomical amount. Hey, if somebody buys it, great, you can go buy a replacement, and then many more cards. But in any event, for your inventory here, you can search by name, or you can use these filters to find the exact cards that you're looking for. And same thing with the sort option, newest, oldest, or by relevance there. Okay, offers, like I said, this would be an entirely separate video, but we could create an offer for a specific card if we wanted to do that, but we won't do that right now. Let's go back to Marketplace, and I'll actually go through the process of purchasing a card here, so that way you guys can see what that looks like. I'll obviously not purchase a legendary card with only 7.65 Mythos tokens, but I will look at a player, we'll go rare, and let's see here. I'll obviously sort lowest price first. You can see the most inexpensive players right now on the market are kickers. There's some Jason Sanders, Dustin Hopkins, and this Andy Dalton for 4.5 is not a bad deal. I've sold I sold an Andy Dalton yesterday for 12, and I think the day before for 12 as well. So I'm going to purchase this Andy Dalton for 4.5. So when you come to this screen here, it will show you a summary, and it will reserve this card while you're on this screen for almost 15 minutes. So it shows you the subtotal, your 4.5 Mythos tokens. There would normally be a gas fee, which would basically what you'd pay to have this transaction happen. Right now, there are no gas fees. Those are temporarily covered by the marketplace, which is great. There are no marketplace fees. Those are paid by the seller. So as a buyer here, all I do is pay the 4.5 Mythos tokens that it's listed for, which is the equivalent of about $1.33. And when I click buy, it will process, and it will say purchase initiated successfully. And I can leave this screen. Once you click that button, you're good to go. I'm actually going to click view my items, which brings me to my inventory. And if you sit here really for just a few seconds, you'll see a notification pop up that the purchase was successful, and you'll see that card drop into my inventory. You can see I have another one listed here. When my last one sold, I went and purchased one for about 4 or 5 tokens, listed it for 12. And recently that's what I've been doing. I've had a couple Andy Daltons up on the marketplace. And you can see this one just popped in, and now I can click on sell. I can set a price for Andy Dalton, which for me, I will list at 12 tokens. And now you can see as a seller, I would pay a 14% fee to the marketplace when this sells. So the subtotal would be 12. The gas fee, like we mentioned, temporarily covered by the marketplace, but the 14% fee means that I'd pay 1.68 Mythos tokens, which I would profit 10.32 Mythos tokens once this sells. Overall, I'll go ahead and click list, and it will tell me the listing process has started. I can click go to my inventory, and again, if we sit here for maybe about 5 or 10 seconds, it will then give us a notification, and it will show us that this card has been listed. And there we go. We see that notification of a successful listing there, and now we see that this card is listed for 12 Mythos tokens, which is the equivalent of $3.54. So the last thing I'll do is I'll show you guys the activity. And when we click activity, first off, this shows everything, all the buying and selling, and anytime we list a card, there's a history of it here. You can use the filter here on transaction history to just show buying and selling, or you can just show listing or unlisting. or you can just show things between a certain date range. For this example, I'm just going to show my buying and selling. I'm going to click apply, and you guys can see the Andy Dalton that I just purchased right now. You can see this here in the transaction history for 4.5 Mythos tokens. If you hover over it, it will show you what the breakdown was. Obviously, no marketplace fees as a buyer there. But let me look at one here. So this last Andy Dalton that I did sell, when we hover over the Mythos token icon there, it shows that we sold it for 13. We paid the 1.82 Mythos token fee, and that's why you'll see the amount here at 11.18, right? I really had that listed for 13. It sold for 13, but I actually received 11.18 Mythos tokens after the fee. Okay, and once you scroll down, you can click show more if you want to do that. You can really go all the way back through all your transactions here. Over the last 3.5 weeks now, I've had probably 120, maybe 125 transactions here on the marketplace. So it's pretty fun, but it's vital, really, as a free-to-play player to build a better team. And so we can clear these out. We can really look at anything we want here in regards to transaction history using the filters there. We can reset those back to the default. So in this video here, I just wanted to walk you guys through an introduction into the Mythical Marketplace. If you have any specific questions, drop those below. I might be able to make some other videos of things in more detail. I try not to be too long-winded, but there really is a lot here, and I think it's important as a free-to-play player to take advantage of what you can do here on the marketplace. I appreciate you guys taking a few minutes to check out this video. Have a great day. Take care.